All right.
It's all happening.
Every
Hi,
time.
everybody.
Every time.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Trying to Be Better with Joel and Steve podcast. My microphone is still not working, so I'm using my nerdy game headset. So this could sound terrible, but
Yeah, it'll be all right.
yeah, maybe.
It'll be all right. Joel's, you might just have to, kind of squint your ears a little bit tonight.
Yeah. Sorry about it, y'all. It's all I almost threw my microphone into the trash, and Steve said no, he's going to take a look at it.
I want to take a look at it.
Uh,
We called Beyond Burger to see if we get some microphone money, but weirdly they just didn't return the call.
I was on hold for like 2 hours and kept pressing 1 and 2, and no.
You waited 2 hours?
No.
Yeah.
No, I didn't call them, but hopefully maybe they just sent us money. We need to get a touring mixing board and some new microphones. So, yeah, man. Welcome to the podcast. How are you? How are things?
Things are good, man. I'm a little fatigued tonight, just due to the fact that I invaded Chicago with my family for the last 4 days, and we tried to do as much as we possibly could.
Yeah,
while we were there, and it was great, but I kind of feel like, day one back at work from that, and I got a couple situations there. So I really kind of need a vacation from the vacation, which I realize is just a ridiculous thing to say, but
right.
I really could just, I need to get some actual sleep.
I feel
good. I had an amazing time, and it was really nice to go someplace and do something. And it's really cool.
Everybody have a good time.
I think everybody had a great time. I think that I went full Clark Griswold. I just did Friday. Like, I wanted to do all the things, and it was just too much. And we capped off the day with a concert, which, it was late, and
yeah,
my kids were pretty over it halfway through, understandably so,
Sure.
So, but the next day they were wearing the concert t-shirt. So I took that as a good sign. So
yeah, they had a good experience. I mean, that's a lot to take in for any.
It was because they literally got their mind blown by Chicago all day long from about 8:30 in the morning until 11:30 at night.
Yeah, I really want to get to the Dark Star Orchestra show, but like you kind of mentioned, your kiddos haven't really been to a large metropolitan area before, right? Is that correct?
Never. Denver when they were teeny tiny,
Sure, right.
Well, and
right.
Orlando, we did the Disney thing.
Oh yeah,
6 years ago, so it's been a while. You know what I'm saying,
dude?
And that's a very different, quote, big city thing than being in downtown Chicago.
Yeah, downtown Chicago it's
real.
It's got a presence that is it looms over you.
Yeah.
It works inside of you. It's
and I love it. Like, I love being down there. I've never lived there, so I can't speak to what that, but like our hotel was across, it was just, we could, from our hotel room, we could see this luxury apartment building that had this amazing rooftop, like swimming pool, garden, cabana, dog walking, barbecue, bar situation where they're like private cabanas with TV. It's just nuts. I've never seen anything quite like it. It was very nice. So we just kind of gawked at that, because it was right outside our hotel room. Like Friday night, there was a woman playing like electric violin art music.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was amazing, just as an amenity.
Oh yeah, very
nice thing,
Yeah.
And so like that is a very different, I would say, downtown living experience than some of the other people that live downtown.
Right. Yes. Yeah. The disparity of all the neighbors of downtown Chicago is clear and present. Yeah.
Yes, and that was something that I lived outside of Washington, D.C. for a number of years in a part where there was not a lot of disparity because it was all very upper middle class, and like Dave Chappelle talks about looking over the river with binoculars, that rings true.
Yeah.
But like, that was really, as a father, as a middle-aged American white male person that was on vacation in Chicago, like that disparity was really obvious and glaring and at times painful, and we had to have talks about like why is that?
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's very hard for, young minds to wrap their heads around things like economic equality and
Mm.
slave trade and how,
Hmm.
what happened after the Civil War and what
Yeah.
Jim Crow laws and redlining
Hmm.
and all of that stuff. You can't wrap that into a 30-second soundbite.
Which
And
makes the case, Steve, and I mean this is a whole tangent, but why the idea of critical race theory ought to be taught in our public school in our school system.
no, that's not necessary, Joel.
Oh God. Like we
Right? But
Yeah,
I had
it's
that thought while we were there. Like, this is exactly why it needs to be taught.
yes, because there's systematic reasons why the disparity is so stark.
Right. Well, Joel, let's just sweep that under the rug and
Well,
get
yeah.
on and get on to making America great again.
Well, dude, the narrative around that right now is that like that's divisive.
That's horseshit.
I know. I love it though. It's like,
Of course it's divisive. Of course
like
it's supposed to be divisive.
all of a sudden the conservative right wants to be, well, we just want to include everybody. We don't want to be divisive.
That's
That critical
total
race.
and utter horseshit.
So how do you handle that? I mean, like
Well,
I don't have kids. How do you handle
the best
that?
thing that I could come up with was to say that there were people in the area, but in the area, I mean within our area, the
Mhm.
20-foot diameter around us,
Mhm.
that desperately needed help that they were absolutely never going to get.
Mhm.
And that's just the reality of the situation.
Wow.
Right?
Yep. That's the truth, man. Like you're telling your kids the truth. I mean, that's yeah, that's intense.
And
So
then we went into the Institute of Art and looked at some Monet paintings.
you saw priceless works of art?
We
What'd you do today, Cameron? What'd you see today?
Nothing good.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
I had that instrumental version of "Please Let Me Get What I Want" by the Smiths in my head the entire time
Mm-hmm.
we were in the art museum. I couldn't help it.
You can't look at that stained glass installation piece and not just go there, or the Sunday in the Park with
Yeah, it was the
George.
Sunday in the Park that got me.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was nice to hear that without Morrissey whining. Just to the nice
Please,
instrumental.
please,
Yeah, shut up,
please.
man. Lord knows it would be the first time.
Oh God,
Right.
that poor guy. He's really sad.
No, it's not.
Uh, wow. So then, what else about that trip was exciting and fatiguing? I mean, it sounds like
Oh,
it looked
good Lord.
from what you showed me and what you were sharing with us, it looked like
Well,
you guys really did it. You did all of it.
Well, and actually Holly's mom, my wife's mom, said when we were because my in-laws watched the dog while we were gone, said like she kind of gave me a compliment, like, way to go planning that. Because if you don't do that, then you just end up wandering around.
Yeah.
And I've done that in Chicago and it's miserable.
I kind of did that in DC once and it was kind of miserable.
It's miserable. Like you find yourself like, I don't know where I am or what I'm supposed to be doing right now. This is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really had pretty clearly defined ideas of like, I want to see these things. And we did.
So was that your Clark? That was your Clark Griswold.
Yeah.
Energy.
I mean, we skipped the largest ball of mud, but yeah, I mean, that was just it. Like we kind of find ourselves Friday morning realizing we wanted to go to Intelligentsia and get some coffee. So we went there and that was kind of a bust because of COVID. Like we didn't get the full Intelligentsia experience because they just dumped it in a paper cup.
Oh.
Right. With a lid on it. And then also the girls wanted something, but they don't do frappuccinos at Intelligentsia. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they got some tea that they didn't like. So we're standing outside of Intelligentsia. It's like 8:30 in the morning. And we realized that, the museum we're going to didn't open until 10:30. So I'm like, we have Ventra cards. Let's go up to Wrigley.
Oh yes.
So we hopped on the red line and went up to Wrigley Field. And and that was one of the things, like I told, this is kind of a funny thing, is I told the girls, like when we're downtown, don't people may try to engage you in some sort of transaction. Do not look at them. You're like, just keep walking. It's fine, So then we get up to Wrigley, and we want to take a picture in front of the big, the Wrigley Field sign.
The marquee. Yeah.
The marquee. And this dude there's like, hey man, I'll take a picture of your family. And I'm like, no, it's all right. Like I'm not giving you my phone. Forget it. You know. And it turns out he was good. He was good, man. He was working with that Streetwise organization.
Oh yeah.
It's really like it's legit. And I had heard Streetwise when he said Streetwise. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'll talk to you for a second. And so I ended up giving him $5. I Venmoed him $5. And he took a picture of us. And it was really nice, but so the girls were looking at me like, I thought you said, like, yes, but there are exceptions to every rule. You know what I'm saying? Like this, I felt I understood once he said who he was with. I'm like, okay, this is a different situation.
Yeah.
So, so that was kind of an interesting thing. So then we went from there. It was like, really, there was nothing to do because we weren't going into Wrigley,
Yeah. Right.
So we hopped back on the red line and went to,
there was a game that day.
There was, yeah. They were playing the Cards at like 1:00.
I think Bill Murray sang the Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Dude, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I've been saving that one. I'm pretty sure that was the day. Was that Friday or Saturday?
That was Friday.
Okay, then it might have been Saturday then.
Saturday. See, that even makes it hurt worse. But anyway, God, anyway. Yeah, that trip sucked now.
I just ruined your trip retroactively.
But we walked into Lincoln Park.
Yeah.
And just went and walked through that neighborhood just to be in a neighborhood. And partially because I really kind of selfishly wanted to get a picture in front of the Chicago Getaway Hostel.
Oh, yeah.
I was wishing I had a guitar just to recreate that iconic photo from 2013.
It really was iconic.
It really was.
It's just it's a masterpiece, really.
I think so.
You're so happy because you bailed on the
natural history. Bailed on everything and did what I wanted to do. It was great. And then we ate at Bourgeois Pig, which was really delicious, actually.
Yes, very good.
I was torn between the hot dog place down the street and Bourgeois Pig, and I'm like, no, we got to do the pig.
Yeah, you made the right choice there, especially with the girls. You and I, let's go eat trash. But
right, well, yeah. I the whole time the only hot dog I ate was at the Museum of Science and Industry, and that place is amazing. That hot dog was not.
Oh, right. I don't think they're known for their hot dogs, Steve.
They're not. Well, we paid $67 for 2 chicken sandwiches, a hot dog, and like a veggie burger.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
The hot dog wasn't even Vienna beef in Chicago. It's like, you're killing me.
No.
You came
me. Yeah. Exit through the gift shop, buddy. Spend the money.
But so here's the other thing is I saw a U-boat.
Oh.
And that's kind of one of my things. I saw the movie Das Boot many years ago, and I loved it. And I just watched it again. And I knew that there was like a submarine thing in the museum. So that's kind of part of the reason. But I had, like, when we walked in there were a couple exhibits that really felt like the Lincoln Children's Museum level of. Yeah. And I was like, boy, this is so far not great. And then so we go into start working our way into the submarine exhibit, and there was a couple of films playing about this heroic capture of a U-boat, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Then we come around this corner into this hall where U-505 is sitting, the whole thing.
Yeah, right.
Captured U-boat, World War II German U-boat, not a mock-up, the actual boat.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really quite an incredible story and quite an incredible. It's been in Chicago since 1954. But so here's the thing. I had a similar experience looking at that as I did standing underneath the Enola Gay in the Edvar Hazy Museum outside of Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which was to say, like, I almost started crying.
Just at the sheer magnitude of the vehicle, or because of its war significance?
Yes, and yes.
Yeah.
Like to stand underneath the actual aircraft that dropped the atomic bombs on Japan in World War II, that's not an insignificant place to be.
Right.
Yeah. And that was a long time ago. I think that was when Holly and I were went out there when we were engaged, so it would have been a long
Mm-hmm.
time ago. But
Mm-hmm.
like I remember that feeling of just the gravity of looking at that machine, right? And I had a
Right.
very similar experience looking at this U-boat, which is it's just a gigantic killing machine.
Right. Yeah.
That's all it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
That's what it's designed to do.
Right.
And and so here's where the head job comes in, is that if anybody out there hasn't seen the movie Das Boat, I know I've said this before, you need to watch Das Boat. Make sure you got a good subwoofer. Um, because it's from the perspective of, quote, the bad guys.
Yeah.
And yet
Mm.
the overwhelming message that comes through is they're just men
Mm-hmm.
doing a really horrible job.
Mm-hmm.
And that they probably aren't going to survive.
Yeah, I saw kind of a one of those political memes that kind of makes you puts things in perspective when you're talking about like war machine, war, you know, yeah, weapons and all of that stuff. I saw this. It's a picture of this guy shooting one of those javelin missiles, right? Those like those essentially anti ground to air anti aircraft missiles that you can fire, one soldier can fire,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's just after he launches it, and it's like each javelin missile itself is about $80,000
yeah.
shot by a man who doesn't make that
No,
at people who will never make
never
that.
make that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's the thing that really is so like in America, Hollywood in America has a history of making pro-war, pro-America. We're always the good guy kind
yeah.
of thing, where we just go in and we kick some ass,
That's right. That's right.
and fine, whatever. But the thing about this Das Boat movie is that it's made by a German about
Mm-hmm.
Germans, and um at the end of it, like we as like good Americans are supposed to think, good, you're
Mm-hmm.
dying, your ship
Mm-hmm.
sunk,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
good. And that's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely not the feeling that
Mm,
I have watching that movie.
right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're humans, they're people, and the humanity of that movie and of the people in that situation, in that machine,
Yep.
really, that's the driving force of the movie. I mean, some of the effects and the whatever are it's neat. It's, like, oh wow, it's kind
Right.
of amazing. They can make that, make
Yeah.
you feel the claustrophobia on the
Right.
comfort of your couch. But that's not, I mean, that's a sideshow to the
Right.
human story involved.
Sounds very similar to the kind of perspective on war that Kurt Vonnegut writes about in Slaughterhouse-Five. That,
Yeah,
you know what
I
I mean?
think,
Like
yeah.
that's what because I read that book uh right after in 2000, probably 2000, end of 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
We started just invading Afghanistan and Iraq again, and it was like, and I remember sitting at Hazel Abel Park
Mm,
before a Monday night men's meeting,
mm,
reading that book, crying,
mm-hmm,
just finishing it. I was just like, that is such a fucking incredible perspective on just that war is hell.
mm-hmm,
You know what I mean? And
mm-hmm.
it's pointless. I mean, you can make the argument, I guess, that it has a point, but in the end, it's pretty pointless.
Right. Well, and
Wow.
that's I well, as in war, the victor only seemed to win.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, that was as nice as it was to sit in downtown Chicago and eat Lou Malnati's pizza, and
Oh
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that was amazing. And so here's the thing: is like the other thing is like one night we walked along the Miracle Mile
Yeah.
Saturday early evening,
Yeah. Yeah.
and walked by all the expensive hotels and all Tiffany and Company, and went into downtown Nordstrom's,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
went and looked at jewelry that cost 5 times more than my house,
Right.
and you walk outside of that and there's people begging for money,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know
Panhandling. Yeah.
and so it's kind of, and it wasn't even like aggressive panhandling is annoying to me,
Sure.
but people just standing there very humbly just holding out a cup Like that's the
Yeah.
stuff that gets me, you know? And
Do you
so
think?
just again, that disparity is like
I mean, because
mind
I've been
melting.
to cities with you. I've been to Chicago with you. I've been
Yep.
to other Denver and other places
Yeah,
with
yeah.
you. Do you think do you always have that sort of feeling, or was it amplified because your family was with you?
That's a great question. And the
Do you
answer
know
is
what I mean?
I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Because I was seeing things through my kids' eyes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or what I would interpret. I mean, what the hell do I know they're thinking? But you know,
It's what you think they're thinking
yeah,
that
well,
you're.
kind of, and just like the, I mean, we have a very stable day to day existence.
Mm-hmm.
We're not running a lot of across a lot of uh, systemic poverty issues in my neighborhood
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and where we go. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
not really a thing.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I didn't really bring it up with the girls very much, but we had some downtime Saturday, so I was just watching. Chicago's going through a really horrible, violent streak this last few years, and it's getting really bad already this summer.
Mm.
Um, Multiple murders every weekend. They were trying to, some community organizers, I can't remember the date, sometime in August, where they were aiming to have a day where nobody got killed. You
Wow.
know,
That's the goal.
yeah,
Nobody. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
getting murdered that day.
That day, yeah,
Right.
and watching news clips and things, it was very, very frustrating to see, like, for example, the police chief of Chicago blaming, and I felt like I was watching The Wire,
Mm-hmm.
in real life,
Yeah.
where the police chief was blaming the judges for releasing 1,000 habitual violent criminals back onto the street with an ankle bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
And the police chief was like, "What am I supposed to do if the judges are putting them back on the streets?"
Mm.
And in my head, I thought, well, yeah, I get that, but
Mm-hmm.
that's a very much like a band-aid thing.
Yeah.
Like that's such a small part of the problem,
Mm-hmm.
which is generational and systemic.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and that's the part that is so, like, I just is disheartening isn't the right word, but it's like, my head just hurts. Like how does that get reversed? Where we have
Yeah.
generations, because I mean, I'm old enough now to remember the crack baby hysteria, which is
Mm-hmm.
exactly what that was. It was
Right.
propaganda, it was hysteria, it
Mm-hmm.
was largely not fact based. It was
Mm-hmm.
just, but
Scare tactics and
yeah,
and
100%.
othering and all of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like reefer madness on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
That has been largely refuted as being not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But so my point is that I'm old enough now to where those kids have had kids,
Yeah.
and sometimes
Yeah.
those kids have had kids, and they don't, like, there's no opportunity.
Right.
There's no opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Zero, none. There isn't even a grocery store,
Yeah. That's. I mean, like.
let
Yeah.
alone the opportunity to just go get a job. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
remember there's a Bloom County cartoon from like 1982 where some news anchor woman person is talking to a young African American on the street and is asking him, like, why don't you just go get a job?
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at her and said, well, because I could make $2.11 an hour, maybe working at McDonald's 10 miles away, or I can make $1,000 this afternoon.
Right. Right. Because the system is rigged to try to keep people who are not the who are not us,
Right. Yeah.
essentially, who
Right,
are
yeah.
not privileged white dudes. It's designed to keep folks from actually succeeding. And man, I mean, the litany of things that you listed earlier, like, yeah, redlining and the way the country was designed post Civil War and Jim Crow laws and segregation and everything, the educational system and
Yeah.
all the things. Voter suppression now is the new. I mean, that is, yeah. So there's yeah, and it's like,
And
you
so
know,
when
I'm
he I took a, this is kind of, I swear this has a point, but I took a jazz appreciation class
Mm-hmm.
in community college in Northern Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and, uh, and I like, this is something that I had never thought about. I'd
Mm-hmm.
never thought about, but the instructor was like, how many black people have you seen on TV in your life?
Mm-hmm.
And what roles did they have?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who was the protagonist?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And, the best we could do was Jimmy Carter.
Mm.
That is that the guy? Did I say it right?
You said Jimmy Carter, and
No,
I'm
no, no,
thinking the
Jimmy.
president.
No. I'm thinking, God dang it.
Uh, Jimmy Walker.
Thank you. Not Jimmy Carter.
Yeah,
He's out
yeah,
building houses, being a dude.
yeah. He was that white president in the last part of the '70s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That
Jimmy Walker.
Jimmy Walker. Yeah, Dynamite
Yep, exactly.
in the ghetto.
Yeah. Was
I
that
mean,
show good? Was that Good
good
Time?
times. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
and like that was something that I'd never thought about. Like, how would you feel if you were growing up and you turn on the TV and everything you see about your people
Mm-hmm.
is this stereotype?
Is a stereotype an entertainer or a
Basketball player.
yeah, exactly, or an athlete,
Yeah,
or on the evening news is being projected as, like you said, the hysteria of the crack baby
yeah.
myth
Right.
or whatever. So it's like, you know we may be getting into the weeds,
Yeah, I think
but
that's safe to say.
I think what is really pretty powerful of what you're experiencing and why this conversation blossomed from just your taking your family to Chicago was that you saw the world as you knew it, but you also had to, like, it's that, like, undeniable empathy with your children and family to be like, they're going to want to know why this particular part of the world may look different than
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln, America. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and why is that? And what are these things I'm seeing that I don't normally see? And we go down to Ivanaco to get ice cream in the middle of the night. We don't see some of the things you see in Chicago in the middle of the
Right.
night
Yeah.
or New
Or
York
in the middle of
City.
the day.
Exactly.
I
And
mean, this was, their introduction to mentally ill people on the street corner
yep, right.
begging for help
Yeah,
from from who?
exactly. Yeah,
And so that was, I mean, it was hard to escape that, I guess,
yeah,
emotionally for me.
yeah.
But you mentioned like when we go to concerts, like we don't really have that experience. It's because frankly, like the worst neighborhood we've gone to is Lincoln Park, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true.
Like I
Yeah,
remember, I remember on that trip when we were staying in Lincoln Park, like I don't understand what that band was so mad about. Because really,
yeah,
this is really nice.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a really nice part of town.
Yeah,
I don't think it was always that way, but it's been gentrified, which is a whole
sure.
nother podcast. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, that's yeah,
I don't know.
that's
So
the
really, I guess what has what I'm trying to articulate is I just had this really huge amount of empathy
yeah. Hmm.
for all of the suffering in that
Hmm.
beautiful, wild, amazing city
Hmm.
that I could not emotionally I couldn't not acknowledge that.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, to kind of go off of the deep end of that, that if um like you said, you get to a point where it's like it can almost snap your brain where it's like, what can I do about any of this? Um you can't do anything until you see it clearly. And that's
Right.
like that's a mindfulness meditation sort of, that's the thing that I'm kind of chewing on lately is that, you don't have, nobody has a spiritual path. Let me rephrase that. A lot of people have a spiritual path in order to fix themselves. I'm starting to realize that a spiritual path for me is more about, the highest rank I'm going to get in any of that deal is if I can see things clearly. And if,
Oh.
if I can see things clearly, then I got a shot at doing something, doing
Mm-hmm.
doing what you can do in my little corner of the world. But if you try to say, well, I can't fix systemic racism, I can't fix redlining or voter suppression, I can't fix, you know, I can't fix the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, but what can I do in my corner? You know what
Right.
I mean?
Well, right. I mean, that's put your good put your good where it'll do the most.
Yeah, dude. And I think that like you being able to tell your kids the truth about what's going on, like, yeah, this is a very privileged experience we're having, and but there are some that can afford to walk into that jewelry store and buy a few things and it not affect them at all,
At all.
and they can walk right by the suffering on the street corner, and that doesn't affect them at all either. And
Mm-hmm.
being able to express that to your kids, I think is very useful.
And I don't
Instead of just saying you need to be afraid of this, it's like, hey,
right,
this
right.
is what's up. You
And
know?
that was something that like we had to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing bad is happening here. This is just
Mm-hmm.
something outside of your experience.
Right. Wow. Yeah. That's applicable everywhere.
Right.
You
And
know what I
that's
mean?
and so that's I think that's why I mean it was important to me. It's important. I was fortunate enough growing up that I got to travel quite a bit just with my family. We
Mm-hmm.
went someplace cool every summer for one reason or
Mm-hmm.
another. You know, usually
Mm-hmm.
my dad had a meeting or something, so we kind of turned that into a vacation.
Right.
But like I got to see both coasts. I got to see Mexico right across the border. I got to see Houston, Texas. I got to see Savannah, Georgia. I got to see Washington, D.C. I got to see Los Angeles. I got, I mean, like
Yeah.
all from a very, very, very high altitude. You know what I'm saying?
Anesthetized
You
or
very much so
sanitized.
sanitized. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 And so I think that like that's another thing that I'm starting to. I mean, I've known that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
As I
Mm-hmm.
started to venture out on my own into some of those towns from a slightly different perspective,
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
um, that like, oh yeah, we weren't really where the shit was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
we were where the nice dinners were,
Right.
which is
Right.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like a nice dinner.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of still chewing on your idea of like you can't. Yeah, you have to see things from a. I mean, that's the important thing about travel. You know what I mean? Like, and I really appreciate this conversation because I'm on the cusp of taking a trip soon too,
Mm-hmm.
and it's to a
To
very
one of my favorite places in the world.
yeah. I'm going to
I
Northern
hate
California.
you. I hate you so much for this trip. I hope
Uh,
you have a
we
great time.
we just booked a sailboat cruise on Lake Tahoe, my wife and I.
I hate you
So,
so much right now.
uh, but it's like I get pre-trip anxiety just because I'm like, oh God, what if I forget my toothbrush? Or you know what I mean? It's stupid. It's like, well,
Dude,
I don't have
they'll
to.
have it at the hotel. They can get you one.
Dude, when I went to London, I had so many fears like that. And it's like, we're going to London. It's not like
Right.
it's it's not like the Sahara Desert. There's going to
Right.
be,
Right.
you know what I mean? They make toothbrush.
They'll have a little travel size toothbrush for your ass.
Yes, they will. Well, not for my ass. I do use something else for that.
Oh my god.
Heyo.
Heyo.
But I get like pre-trip scaries,
Yeah.
and this conversation is helping me not because I'm going to any, I'm going to a really wonderful area and place, but it's
You're going to one of the most wonderful places on earth.
I'm very excited. I've never been there,
Mm.
but I'm also it's like the the sense of adventure. I've and I've talked about it on this podcast before, but like I thought that like once things were safe to and was vaccinated and all this stuff, I'd be just chomping at the bit to go do all the things. And
Mhm.
it's kind of been a kiddie pool scenario,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
dipping my toes. This is kind of a big trip, and I'm looking forward to the adventure
Yeah.
and looking at the different perspective and experiencing the different environment and the different landscape. And when you put it like that, it's like I'm gonna go and enjoy a different environment, a different landscape, and have a different adventure and take it all in and see the good, the bad, and whatever is in front of me. That is the right attitude about taking any sort of leap, whether that be a trip or a new job or whatever. It's like um, the letting go of the expectation that it's all going to be fun and games and joy and everything I want. It's like, well, no, there's going to be it's all going to be there and you're going to experience it.
That's one thing I had to kind of adjust to. Like, oh right, travel's a hassle.
Yeah.
Travel
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
checking into a hotel was a hassle.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was, like,
Yeah.
mostly kept cool, but we had a couple issues and we just got them resolved.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just standing in line and, being patient is totally my strong suit, as you well know. And
Oh yeah, you're really
super patient. Yeah.
a pillar of patience.
Yeah. I think I did pretty good on this trip, actually. Like I maybe alked out once. Yeah.
What was that?
I just like Saturday, like we're kind of in that place of like we've been hitting it hard, tired,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just kind of I'm in a place where I don't care about any of this right now.
Yep. Done. Spent. I'm
Yeah.
out. Yep.
But then we went and got some ramen and it was fine.
Oh, that'll cure it.
So yeah, weirdly, the ramen that we had was not as good as the stuff that they used to have down that Nader. What was that place called?
Amu Ramen. Amu Ramen.
Yeah. That was better.
Amu Mamu. I don't know what it's called.
Amu Ramen, I think.
Amu Ramen.
Yeah, that was
It
better.
wasn't as good.
The stuff we had in Chicago wasn't as good as Amu Ramen.
Wow. Yeah. That's a heavy statement.
That's what I'm saying. Like
the best ramen I ever had was at this in in Los Angeles. Oh. Best ramen I've ever. I mean, not to rain on the parade, but I thought it was way better than that stuff. But
just
saying,
typical Southern California.
It's better. It's better down there. Everything's better. It's the Golden Shore. Now I'm getting excited.
There's really nothing else to see anywhere.
There's really not.
There really isn't.
There is some, dude. I think even you live there longer than a year, you do kind of have like a California exceptionalism. Like, yeah, we pay out the nose, and it's,
spend half our lives sitting in our car waiting for the next avalanche,
right? And there's fires, or mudslides,
right,
or earthquakes, but it's really just better here.
It's better here.
And it's not.
Yeah, we'll just wait when the sea starts to rise.
Yeah, Arizona Bay, right? As Maynard from Tool puts it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Learn to swim.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. Was there a point?
Well, there is a point, but before we get to the point, I want to have some more fun. How was the Dark Star Orchestra?
Oh, they were so good. Show? They were so good. They're great. They're just amazing. That was their 3010th concert. That's what I was.
What?
Yeah, they've played almost 800 more concerts than the Grateful Dead ever played.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And with the drummer, they're not entirely all founding members, but pretty close. Like Rob Eaton's been there since '99.
Wow.
Yeah, but the star of the show was Skip Vangelis on bass. I love that guy. They played a '76 show, and his bass sounded so good. And here's the thing: like, it's my first time seeing him. And the bass player that I saw them with previously, like he played the notes, like he played kind of like Phil Lesh, but he didn't have the personality, which I think is a pretty, like, the absolute glee at destroying people with low frequencies. Yeah, right. Like, he like laying the 1976 Phil bombs were in full effect. The other one and Slipknot and that was the thing, is that like I was really hoping, because my family was there, that it would be just a fun show, with a little bit of drums and a little short space, but mostly just rock and roll,
Yeah.
But no, it was a '76 show. The second set was basically Slipknot and the other one.
Yeah, you went on a journey. You were going on a long.
Slipknot got dark and long and sinister, which was really great for tired kids surrounded by people that were kind of scary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
And so, like, there was a few moments where I was like, took me back to my first Grateful Dead concert where I had this thought. I really wish they'd play some nice music, but that was not on the menu for the night. They just kept digging.
I just want to hear Truckin' or Sugary or Sugar Magnolia.
I wanted Scarlet Fire, into Eyes of the World, into He's Gone, little drums, little space, into Stella Blue, into Going Down the Road Feeling Bad, into Love Light. Just give, bring out the joy bubbles,
Nope.
And then cap it off with the Sugar, just something like that. No, it got dark and weird and sinister. And then it went into drums for 10 minutes, and it's just, I loved it,
Yes, right.
Everybody else was like, in fact, Francesca said after the first set, she's like, I like it more when they're singing. which was perfect. I
Yeah.
just looked at her and said, well, kid, this next part's going to make you crazy because there's not after that.
Yeah. Well, just hold on tight because we're not going to get there for a minute.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it was, but they're amazing. They're amazing.
Yeah.
They're amazing. Like it's, to quote the song, it's not the real thing, but it's close enough to pretend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're so
Well,
good.
I
You should go to Red Rocks.
I thought I thought about going to Red Rocks, and then
Yeah.
Billy and the kids are playing on the 13th. So
Yeah,
I don't
see,
know.
well,
I don't.
so that's is like we had kind of thought about doing that for one of the kids' birthdays because it falls on that
Right.
birthday, but we're not gonna.
Uh,
We pulled that
no. Yeah.
just because we should probably do what they want to do for their birthday.
Hey, it's your birthday. We're going to take you to my favorite kind of music.
Exactly right. Not yours, ours.
Not yours. And no, your friends can't come, but it's going to be great for you, us.
It's yeah. So that I feel like we've matured as parents and
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
sure. Oh
Well, that's
God.
really cool, dude. I'm glad you guys got to get out there. And I think that, like, what I don't know, you were going to say earlier, like, have we learned anything? Was there a point to all that? I mean, if you can't harness the lesson from the experiences that you're having while you're having them, then there's no way you're going to grow on anything larger, anything
Right.
bigger happening. It's like I just think it's really fascinating. I mean, I thought about that when it kind of and forgive the comparison, but it kind of reminded me when a loved one very close to me was kind of getting clean and sober, and I
Mhm.
took them to a meeting, and I was like, I felt the meeting working or not working every moment to every moment because this person that I care about deeply was there, and I was like,
Mhm.
how are they doing? Is this
Right.
happening? Are they going to shake? Should I make him shake? Should we do
Right.
this? What's this? Does he have enough coffee? Is the coffee good enough? Oh my God, the coffee's bad. He's not going to ever come back. And
Kind of
and
legit.
when you take your loved ones to this
Yeah.
on an adventure, you see the world through their eyes.
Hmm.
You wake up here and find out you're the eyes of the world, Steve.
Amen.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that's the point. And like also what I'm gleaning from your experience is that to have an adventure and to like be present.
Totally. Well, and that's the thing. And I know it seems to be that spending money on experiences is a better value than spending money on stuff.
Dude, yes. Thank you. Yep.
Yeah.
Because I'm also a little like, Jesus, we're dropping some coin on going to,
Yeah.
it's like,
Right.
no, dude.
Yeah. Go have
Kirsten
fun.
and I, like, we don't buy each other Christmas presents or birthday presents unless it's doing something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Well, I still have some friends in Lake Tahoe. It's been a long time since I've been there. I was only there for 2 years, but it was a pretty formative couple of years. And, I have some friends from that time period that are doing really well out there. And
cool.
and it's I would be really curious to see how that area has changed since I left in 1994. So it was a long time
Yeah.
ago. I have a feeling it's changed a lot.
Sure.
Because side, the Chicago shore, Chicago, God, California, South Lake Tahoe was um less wealthy. I guess is how, there's a couple of hotels up at State Line. That's where Harvey's and Harrah's and Caesars and the casinos and the Embassy Suites. But the rest of the South Shore was it's like where the service people lived.
Yeah, yeah.
And where the like degenerate gamblers would come up and stay in the cheap motels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the ski bums and all that,
Yeah.
And the North Shore on the Nevada side was more moneyed.
At
least that was my impression at
Sure.
the time,
Yeah.
All I know is at the time you could live on the South Shore for cheap, relatively speaking.
Huh.
Just pile a couple guys into a house and,
if there's any spots like, if there's any spots you want me to take photos of just so you can compare and contrast, I'm happy to do it because that's where we're staying. I mean, we're going to be in a different part of California for the first few days, but then, the latter half of the trip is going to be in, South Lake Tahoe. So
really? Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
You're going to have a great time.
We got an Airbnb with a Zen garden and a hot tub. We're going to be all right.
That sounds okay.
Sounds all right.
Yeah, man, I really think, and this is something like I want you to take a mental picture while you're out there because when you come over those, where are you flying into, or how are you getting there? How are you coming in to Tahoe? Are you driving up from San Francisco?
No, we're flying into Sacramento, and then we're going to be in Nevada City,
Oh my
California for
God,
a few.
serious?
Yeah, for a few
Oh, I
days.
got stories about Nevada City.
Oh, I can't. Give me one.
No, I can't. That's for the Patreon version.
We'll stop recording, and I want to hear a
Oh
Nevada
my
City
God.
story. But yeah, so we're going to be in Nevada City.
That's God's country.
Well, dude, that's where where my sister-in-law is getting married, and so we're going to be
Wow.
there
Mm-hmm.
for half the time, or most of the time, really. And then from there we're driving to Tahoe.
Oh my gosh. I spent a really, really, really intense weekend in Nevada City
Sweet.
in would have been like May of 93, probably.
Wow.
It was a May Day celebration. It's a long story.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we're gonna
so
be.
Then
we fly out. We're driving to Tahoe, and then we fly out of Reno.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you'll drive the drive from Tahoe to Reno is fun.
Okay. Sweet.
You kind of go down the mountains, it's really pretty. But my point is that when you come over the hill, when you come over the mountain crest, you'll probably come in on, I don't know, the highway, whatever. You'll come up over the mountain crest,
yeah,
and you'll see the lake.
Yeah.
And the bottom will fall out.
Yes. I'm here for it.
Yep, it's amazing. And then and so yeah, like and I've told you this a million times. I tell it when I speak at the podium or whatever at the secret meetings, that like how I knew the moment I realized the moment, like how just dead I was inside.
Yeah.
When I looked at that and didn't feel anything.
Ooh. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
well,
I realized that and went, oh, this is so bad.
We were that's okay. That hits me because we were with some friends. We went to Austin a few weeks ago, and
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of talking. I was on the golf course with them or something, or maybe Kirsten was there. I don't remember. And we're like, yeah, it's gonna be wedding shenanigans though, and it's gonna be stressful, and there's gonna be lots of people around. Hopefully, get to enjoy it. And he's like, "You've never been to Tahoe, have you?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "It won't matter." Like
Right.
you will be in such a beautiful part of the world.
Yeah.
Whatever stress that you're going to try to manufacture won't matter. But
Right.
so that rings true when you say that, like you were so far gone that you looked at this,
God's
God's
majestic
country,
creation,
heavenly and everything,
yeah, the whole
saying,
deal,
"Eh,
and nothing.
I feel dead inside. I feel nothing."
Kind of. I mean, yeah, it was a moment. It was a transformative moment, actually.
Yeah, right.
Just like the first time I saw that lake was.
Mm.
The first time driving up from Reno, we came in up from Reno and came over the crest, and everything just dropped out. The view and just like you're talking about the energy of Chicago, of downtown Chicago.
Yeah.
Lake Tahoe has an energy.
Yeah. Okay.
That is it's powerful. I'll just leave it at that. You'll see.
I'm stoked.
See. Yeah. So yeah, did we fix anything? I don't know.
Yep, we fixed all of it, man.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I guess what's been rolling around my brain, and I'm having a hard time articulating, is that travel's good.
Yeah.
Get out and see things, even if it makes you uncomfortable.
Right.
Get out and have experiences.
Even if it's like driving 30 miles north of Lincoln or wherever you live and seeing it differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And be with that experience. That's what I'm taking away from your Chicago story is like, don't just go there and like, I'm going to check these things off the list and do the things. Like, be with that experience. Yeah, be with your experience. The suffering, the good, the joy, the frustration.
The pizza.
The pizza. Like, right. Yeah, be with all. Let it all happen. Yeah. Well, I didn't know I needed that.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited to hear about Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, man.
Your experience there. The Zen Garden sounds nice.
Yeah, I'll send you some photos of the Airbnb we're staying. The two of them that we're staying in. Pretty stoked.
Far out.
Yeah.
I've never done an Airbnb thing.
Dude. Dude, when we go see a show, that's what we're doing.
All right.
No more weird hotels, man.
No more weird hotels. Oh, that one place we stayed in Boulder was awesome.
It was awesome. You're right. But you can get more bang.
It was like if Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem ran a hotel.
Golden teeth and golden toes. Welcome to my presence. No, I
welcome to room 106.
Seems that the frog and the bear. Oh, damn it! I can't even finish the quote. Sure don't look like Presbyterians to me. Though we got to do an Airbnb because you get more bang for your buck, I think.
That's okay. All right.
You know?
All right. Whatever.
Just telling you. I'll send you lots of photos.
Okay.
I'll follow me personally on Instagram. What?
See if Izzy's Burger Spa still exists. I'm serious.
Burger Spa?
Izzy's Burger Spa. They had a burger called the Onion Orgy.
I want to have an onion orgy.
Yeah, you do.
I wonder if I can sweet talk Kirsten into an onion orgy.
And then also the Red Hut for breakfast.
The Red Hut. Is it like a greasy spoon?
It's a Red Hut that serves breakfast inside of it. It's great.
Okay.
Yep. At least it was. And then also Sprouts, which I'm pretty sure still exists. It's like a health food. It's like a health food store, veg, and they have a deli.
It's a chain, right?
I don't think so. I mean,
well, they have a Sprouts in Denver. I've been.
Well,
to.
Whatever. Maybe they do. Maybe it is now. I mean, this is a long time ago. But Sprouts had this sandwich called the Tahoe Turkey that was the bomb. Anyway,
Burger Spa. I just like sitting
Izzy's
in a
Burger Spa,
sitting like getting my foot rubbed in like a hot tub, eating burgers with the onions falling into the hot water. Is that what I get to do? Because that
no, it is not. It's literally a shack that serves burgers.
Why do they call it a spa? I'm really mad.
Well, you just sink your teeth into an onion orgy, and you'll understand where the spa comes from.
I don't know, man. I'm a little skeptical of that.
Well, it's fine. Whatever.
I want to sit. Remember, I want to sit in a like the Tubbery. Remember the Tubbery downtown?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I want to cook in the
onion juice, the onion fried. Yeah.
Watch the onion rings float.
What you do in your Airbnb is.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, we're gonna go full on Tubbery, a la 1999 on that.
Gross.
For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, the Tubbery was this business that was like in downtown Lincoln, and you just paid for a hot tub, but there was like 7 hot tubs, and you just like rented one. And it was very weird.
It was very weird. But here's the thing: there was a place like that in Tahoe, same deal, but it wasn't in this weird grotto thing. They were kind of exposed, so you could. They were kind of outside, and right on. And so, man, I tell you, that hot tub with a bottle of Jägermeister and some close friends, and the view of like the mountains, and that was a whole different thing. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if the water was gross because
was it a natural hot springs or was it just
hot tubs?
Dude, we went to one in Montana that was like natural spring water that came out like because it was being cooked from under the. I know there's a scientific way to say it. I'm just like they were just like cooking this water underneath the crust of the earth, man, and then we just sat in it. It was great, but it was like that's what it was.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Anyway. See the world.
Yeah,
leave your bubble for a minute, guys and gals and non-binary pals. Go see the world a little bit.
Sure. Highly recommend. 2 thumbs up for the world.
I'm not getting. Almost did a Borat impression. That's when you know we got to cut it off.
Yep. Okay.
All right. So email the podcast at ttbb@gmail.
Nope.
I fucked it up. Hold on. Take 2. Email the podcast at ttbbpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on at Trying to Be Better podcast. On the Instagram, please.
Do we need to do more of that? I feel like do we need to do more social? I don't know.
Like a Facebook?
Oh God.
I don't think
That's what old people use.
Well,
do we just need to start doing the and TikTok?
TikToks.
Do we need to start making funny TikTok videos?
Nope.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Nope. Yeah, we don't have to do that. And I've been a real slacker on Instagram, and last week I apologized for it, and today I'm kind of not gonna apologize for it.
Good. Yeah, don't.
It's summer hours, man.
That's right.
You get what you get out there, y'all. Y'all are lucky we're even doing this right now. My microphone's broke. It's a Monday night. This is.
Yeah.
Y'all are lucky.
You're lucky to have us.
I was about to spit my water all over my laptop.
Might as well.
Might as well, man.
All right.
All
Well,
right, we did it.
yeah, man. It's good to talk to you.
All right, love you, Steve.
Love you too. Later.